I say Resurrection Man, what's the first thing that springs to mind? A Hollywood blockbuster starring an action man with bigger biceps than his entire vocabulary and acting ability combined? Or a guy in a cheap suit who accepts cheques, money orders, credit cards, debit cards, US dollars, Barbadian dollars, Caribbean dollars, Canadian dollars, Australian dollars, New Zealand dollars, English pounds, Egyptian pounds, Jersey pounds, bonds, stock, shares, property, and a love offering for a touch of the Holy Ghost? If so, you'd be wrong on both counts. In the early 19th century, Britain had a problem. Legally, medical professionals and surgeons, medical schools and colleges were allowed to legally obtain the deceased bodies of executed criminals to dissect and study and pave the way for many of the medical breakthroughs that we have today, like transplants and what have you. But whereas in the 1700s people were getting executed left, right and centre for the misuse of a semicolon or leaving a toilet seat up, by the 1800s only 55 people a year were getting hung, and this led to dire shortages of bodies amongst the medical professions. This shortage gave rise to groups of people known as the Resurrection Men, or body snatchers as you might know them as. These guards would raid graveyards all around London, including this one here, Bunhill Gardens in London's East End, and raid these corpses and then sell them on to institutions that would ask no questions. Now, this developed so much fear amongst the population of London that relatives of recently deceased family members would sit and guard graveyards for weeks on end to deter these guys robbing and selling on these corpses. Amongst the underworld, there's always criminals that think outside of the box. Some of them don't want to get their fingernails dirty, hanging out in graveyards in the middle of the night and dragging out corpses that look like Amy Winehouse and Bad Night Out. They think, why waste the time and energy when you can pick fresh specimens straight off the street? One such group was known as the London Burkers, and they weren't as idiotic as their name suggests. They operated out Columbia Street in London's East End. Their deliveries were noticeably fresher than their competitors, and they were eventually caught trying to deliver on the body of a 14-year-old boy who they'd caught, drugged with rum, thrown down a well, stuffed in a bag, and then sent on within 48 hours. The London Burkers were eventually tried and hung in 1831, and 30,000 people turned out to witness the event. And in a wonderful twist of poetic justice, their bodies were sent off for dissection and study by the medical profession. Some tell tales, others rhyme, but I sing songs from the Howling Sea.
If you're wondering what on earth you just witnessed, you've been watching a video from the Songs from the Howling Sea podcast. Each week I release a song and a video about a person or a subject from London's East End. 52 songs in 52 weeks. For more, visit www.songsfromthehowlingsea.com.